we're going to recognize Hannah because I got this nice letter and this beautiful certificate.
Today.
So, oh, did you get your necklace already?
Yeah.
Yay!
I've been wearing it, but I had to take it off.
Yeah.
Wyatt likes to grab things.
So, Hannah, we got this in the mail. They sent it to me so I can sign it too. So she promoted on October 1st, and I'm going to buy everybody clappers so we can have those because Yvonne has them and she always has them handy, and it's just, we need them. Okay, so she has only, and of course, I think she had a couple of shows before because I think you went inactive for a short period, but she promoted with doing 18 shows and her career sales of 83.23. So you were over half the way to getting a 2% raise for hitting 15,000 in career sales. So just so you know, so then instead of starting at 20% every month, it starts at 22%, as long as you don't go inactive for 2 months, okay?
I think I'm like 6,000 away from that.
Yeah, you should be real close. I mean, and if you keep going with pace, that'll be in a couple of months. That's another raise for you. So you're going to now get a 3% override on your personal sales and your team sales. Every person who's active on your team, you get $10 activity bonus to offset gifts and stuff. And then you get the new products when you hit your you ended up getting the new products. Yeah, she got a surprise. She's like, oh my gosh, I got everything.
All the boxes were taller than me, y'all.
You guys, it was so fun. So then your product discount goes to 30%. I never use my product discount, funny enough. And you have a professional development award that you can use yearly. It's $100, and they have some approved lists. And then you get to walk across the stage at conference and get one of these cool red scrapers and get recognized. So it's really, I'm super excited for you. You gave yourself a raise. You have an amazing team. I love having you on our team, and I wanted to make sure I shared it. Yes, we're all growing.
From what I'm aware, it's about to double before the month's over.
You know what? I'm super excited, you guys. It's gonna be so exciting. You guys, and let me just bring up, because we are talking about recruiting and sharing and growing. All of our kits and all of the new consultant rewards are amazing. Teresa, you've already got 2 levels. You qualified, and you signed up for the blend. You got the blender, right? Or the free kit?
I've got the blender on my virtual party.
Okay, so
I'm kind of anxious about it because I haven't got it yet.
Okay, and I couldn't remember because they were back to back, and I was like, okay, we'll switch. So she got the free kit. She also got that ceramic egg cooker, the scraper. She got the pan. Plus, she's gotten host rewards in her paycheck. You guys, I've been doing Pamper Chef for so long. This is super exciting. I love the new program. I love the new kit. And this $39 for the lowest kit option, you guys, think about it. That's over $400 in product. That's a 90% discount. Okay?
That's what I was telling people at the live.
So I don't push the discount too hard, because then, some people just want to sign up strictly to Kitnap. And that's not what I want them to understand, the value of, making the money, but the value, even if they give it a good try and they don't stay for a long time, they still got a great deal on the kit. And I have one of my team members who's waiting. She will not take that lowest kit. She goes, no, if I'm coming in, I'm going big and I'm getting the biggest kit. So she's been putting aside her money to make sure she has it by the end of the month to save the extra $60. But still, even on the top kit, they're saving $60 this month, and that's a huge deal. I love Pampered Chef. I love the flexibility. I love how every single one of us are very different in how the ones of us on the call are operating our business. So I think it's great that I'm seeing so many people sharing it, because it is a great resource and it's a great tool to have. So, and it helps your paycheck grow and work smarter, not harder type thing. And they're getting a paycheck and helping to pay off whatever debt and bills and other stuff they might have. So, make sure you share the deal this month with others, because it is a great deal. And keep in mind, we do have the Team Aspire Taste of the Pampered Chef information page. I have several posts on there, that just kind of break down the basics of Pampered Chef. And then I always share if we have a special kit offer or any other special promotion, I share it on there. And I actually got a
So it is up to date for us to add people to?
Oh, please do, yes. And any of the ones where it says consultants, I may add a couple, I may pop on and go live a couple of times. I may think about offering a Taste of the Pampered Chef Sqweee party. So some of you guys, Tracy, you popped on the Sqweee and loved it. Hannah's been doing Sqweee parties. Chris, I know you've tried them a little bit.
Yeah, they just didn't seem to work out for me right now. They might in the future.
They take a little bit more handwork from us, but you do get better results if you have that time to do the handwork.
It's well,
Right.
and I just did one. I just did one for my mystery host, and so here's the pros and cons of it. I do love Sqweee. I love the ease of the live party all at once. It's 1 hour. I can sit and chat with people while I'm watching TV with my family, and let them come through. I love the fact that I can text people back to back to back to back and not have to worry about going too fast from, because on messages you can. Plus, on a text, I'm not going to, if I'm not friends with them, they're going to still see my text. On Facebook, they might or might not, so you want them messaging you so it doesn't look spammy. There's a little more rules and guidelines, right? I want to update this little tracking sheet because I would like to have the person's phone number on there with it. And I'd like to change the headings because I don't necessarily use the way that these headings go. But I have found that reminders are super important with Sqweee because they're not getting Facebook notifications popping them back in there. So the host has to be willing to text people to remind, and you have to, in my RSVP survey, Tracy, you notice I said, hey, do you want a video or something to show you how Sqweee works? Do you need a reminder? That is my permission to go ahead and text them before the show and get the in, right? So I just do a quick, I have that saved, I text it to them. I actually made a text shortcut. So then all I have to do is type 2 letters and then that wording pops up and I can share it. And then share the picture. And then after the show, the reminders, if they weren't live or they didn't do the RSVP survey, you have to rely on your host to actually send the messages. That's probably the biggest downer, is that you have to rely on your host and you're kind of going blind with how many people they truly are inviting. I mean, you'll see it in the RSVP survey and how many people come live and stuff, but you're going a little more blindly that the host, and Hannah, you've seen it, that the host has to do it. They have to be willing to put forth that. I mean, all in all, I think it took me a couple of hours to do everything with reminders, and I invited over 100 people. So, I had a lot of people not get back to me, which is fine. I started with texting people through Messenger because that's where a lot of mine are. I'm not going to go into Pampered Chef website and go look up every single person's number because I don't have everybody's number saved in my phone. But anyways, so that's the biggest upside downside. You don't have to worry about Facebook restrictions. It is easier to be able to text them because a lot of people respond better to text. Some people don't have Messenger on their phones, or they hardly ever get on the computer and don't check it there. So sometimes you're at the mercy of that. If you're not connected, you don't have to worry about sending a message to them. They're going to get it either way. So there's the bright side, downside, all at the same time. It can be a little more tedious. If you can get your host excited about it and they like it, or if that's the only option you give, they're going to work through it. My host, actually, funny enough, I had one of my current hosts she came to the Sqweee party and still preferred the Facebook. I don't care. I want to be able to be efficient on both to make sure I can help you guys do Sqweee, you guys do Facebook, whatever you want.
Yeah, I had a couple that didn't, they did not invite.
Yeah.
at all. Like, you can tell when they don't invite to Sqweee. And so, since nobody invited, I'm like, hey, let's do a Facebook then. So they clearly don't want to do Sqweee. They clearly don't want to put in the footwork. Let's move to Facebook and see how well that does. If that does, they don't want to do a Facebook party, then we just won't do a party. But
Facebook, you can control a little more because then they only have to really, really send the one message, and you can kind of work around some of it because then you're at least kind of connected with them in the party.
yeah,
so
but that gave me the ability to at least stay out of Facebook jail because I'm not running 4 parties at the same time and get myself in Facebook jail.
Yeah, and I think some of it is as you get more active on Facebook and see some of it, because I was reading from SyncShare, again, I don't know if you saw the post from Director Success when they were talking about, she went into jail again. She messaged one of the, Facebook, gurus, and she's like, oh, it's third-party posting services. Well, first off, it's not, because there's a lot of people that are using it. It is your collective body of work. Are you sounding spammy? Are you doing things too quickly? Are you being too salesy? Facebook will take that whole collection. Are you just using things that are inauthentic? The robot takes all of that stuff and collects it and does that. And so if you now that I've been more active overall, like Facebook doesn't, and my posting patterns haven't changed, Facebook doesn't bother me anymore. Like, I don't hardly ever get put in Facebook jail just because my messages and all that stuff, and I've watched my wording and stuff, like even sometimes.
Yeah, I just don't have time to sit there and be on Facebook all the time because I've got a kid I've got to take care of. So,
well,
I mean,
and
I
that's
don't
where
have that
Sqweee
time.
helps you.
Yeah, and so that's why I've decided to use Sqweee, just because I was stressing myself out every night before of, okay, how many posts am I going to have the next day to make sure this works? Because I would plan out for a week, and then I'd end up in jail halfway through the week. And so I'm like, okay, well, I need to plan each night before, so I'm not having to go back and change it all.
Yep.
And that was too much stress.
Yep.
I wasn't getting to go to bed with my husband.
Yep. And that's where the Sqweee is, all right, set it and forget it. Like, because, I mean, you do have to be there live. So that I wanted to make sure I did kind of bring that up with everybody. So you guys, I know, Tracy, you talked about giving Sqweee a try. So we can definitely continue to let you pop in. I don't have any more scheduled right this minute for Sqweee. I'm trying to get some more. I'm in this pilot program, and I'm supposed to have 4. And I've had 0 so far. I've had 1 so far. So I may just keep posting my own and do some various things, but I don't want to keep hitting people up because I like to reserve it. So I'm going to try to find a couple others. But anyways, Hannah has some. There's other ones on the Sqweee groups, they will do mock parties. So you can kind of see it. It's basically learning the timeline and learning how to set up the timeline in the RSVP code and just the little innuendos with it. It's totally different than Facebook, and that's why some people struggle with it a little bit.
Well, I struggle with Facebook. Everything that's supposed to work on Facebook doesn't necessarily work the way it's supposed to. I find it frustrating to the point where I haven't spent a lot of time working to automate anything on Facebook yet. Although, that is how we make contact with most of our invitees and our hosts and their invitees. And what I think would be really cool is if, as time progresses and, if Sqweee or any other party application comes out, that somehow the automation of sending out the invites and keeping up with the guest is automated through the party page to sync up with that, so that your host can still go out and ping people to come into the Sqweee parties via Facebook, by capturing their telephone numbers. Is that what you're doing? Is you're trying to capture more of the guest telephone numbers so that you can do that?
Well, most of them are actually my customers anyways, because this party that I did, I pulled people off my VIP page, and so they've already 95% of them have purchased from me before.
Right.
I have their stuff.
What about your host? What about your host?
Well, right now for my Sqweee, I've only had a handful of hosts.
I will say that just starting out, this is what I was personally thinking about for myself. And I think it would work great for everyone that's just starting out. Don't try Sqweee just starting out. I think that it should probably stay on Facebook, and this is just my opinion, that it should stay on Facebook when you start out, because I have noticed that I tell them how to follow me on Facebook, and I'm sending that message. So they're seeing it in my RSVP, they're seeing it in the party, plus I'm reminding them twice after the party, and they're still not always going and liking the Facebook page and all of that. And so I had better results with getting that Facebook following by doing my parties on Facebook. And so I think probably you want to build your Facebook following before you move off. But that's just how it's worked for me.
Well, per party for me, with my parties, I'm maybe getting 1 or 2 joining my page, or like liking my page or joining my group. Every once in a while I'll get a couple more than that, but generally speaking, it's onesie twosies everywhere. Sqweee has been the same personally for me with those liking my page, etc., etc. But yes, so Facebook is wonky with some things. Sqweee is always going to stay totally separate, just because of the facts of the matter. They don't ever want to have to worry about Facebook giving them issues. They are working to automate a little bit more stuff. You can email a little easier through there now, but not everybody checks emails or pays attention to emails. Text message are more personal a lot of the time, and that's just the way the world is working. Facebook, I'm finding I love Facebook for the purpose of, if nothing else, even if you're doing all your parties on Sqweee, you should still be doing things to build your group and build your business page by, posting occasionally, sharing things with others, helping to get others onto the page. So then that way they can see, so that way you're not having to post on your private Facebook page as often about whatever specials you're offering or other stuff. So then it kind of keeps business and personal stuff a little more separated. But there are a lot of pros and cons for both. I think there are some people that they're starting their new consultants out on Sqweee with no issue. It's just that Facebook's a learning curve too. Teresa, you've seen it. Like, you're like, okay, why are people not seeing my posts? Well, you have to get that initial liking, your wording. Like, the Facebook superhighway is so weird. It's so wonky. Not everybody's going to see it. You're going to have posts that you thought were going to get a ton of likes, comments, etc., have nothing. And then you're going to get these random ones that have like 80 of them. It's no rhyme or reason on it. Where with Sqweee, with the parties, at least you have a little more control. You know exactly who is in the party, who is seeing posts. You know how to follow up. So there are a lot of pros. So if you're frustrated with Facebook and don't like it, we will help you. I will definitely help you push over to Sqweee, because it's very easy to ask. You're wanting to do live shows anyways as well. So if you're liking the thought of live show, you're going to probably prefer Sqweee anyways, because it's a little more active versus passive.
Yeah, well, I think that's what I'm hearing from most of my people that are interested in hosting parties. Is I don't think that they're very favorable to these parties that are done on Facebook, because the guests are not involved all at once, and they don't invest the time, a number of days that it takes to get everybody engaged in a party. Where that if we can assure that everybody that they invite that has confirmed, I want to be at this party, is involved at a specific time, then I think my hostesses are wanting that more so too. So I have a couple of reasons.
Yeah, let's make sure we chat later and get you squared away with Sqweee and get you started, because I don't care what anybody uses. I just want them to be happy with how they're posting, how their personal business is working. Because like you said, kind of what right now the vibe of your host are. And if you start offering it and you just move away from Facebook other than for networking purposes, it's probably only going to benefit you. So we'll definitely work on getting that, because it gives that little more personal engagement. It's a lot more active. It is a little more legwork, so you do have to make sure you're very intentional with host coaching But it can be a huge reward. So we will totally work with that. So
I prefer Sqweee just because I was craving that interaction. Like, I was so tired of Facebook, and like, I'm just a people person. I love to talk to people. And so I was not getting that, and everyone was ignoring me. And now, I mean, I'm getting to actually talk with my guests, have active conversations, and I love it. I love it.
Yep. And you've had some people just flake on you, postpone, reschedule. But the nice part is it's very minimal work that you've done beforehand. So that way your time's really not wasted. If they keep postponing it, and then once they're ready, you can just randomly go ahead and go, okay, let's do it this day and we're good. And so it's easier sometimes to flex somebody and change the date with them, especially before they start telling people. So there are a lot of upsides to it, and there will continue to be more as Sqwee's only a year old. So they keep continuing to improve and offer new things. But I want to make sure everybody's aware of the differences with the parties and ways to make sure your business thrives. Because, you know, you guys keep hearing me say it. If you put forth the effort in your business, it's going to soar. You're not going to have a problem succeeding. So,
I only put like maybe 2 hours a day, 10 hours a week, and
yeah, it is. It's easier.
And that's with the whole team.
I'm so versed now with Facebook. It takes me almost no time to do most of it, because I've been doing it for several years now, and I've really gotten a good system out. So, you know, it takes me a little bit more effort with Sqweee because it's so different, and I am still succeeding with Facebook. So I'm not rocking my boat right now. But I'm also have my hand in both. So anyways, so we have that. I wanted to just make sure everybody, because I want to make sure everybody understands, like, I will help you with getting your outlines together. If any of you guys have questions with that for Facebook, I will help you make sure you guys understand about staying active, how to draw people in, how to host coach, how to ask for bookings, how to get your host on board for both. But let's take a, darn it. Of course, that's the one time they'll have to leave me a message. Anyways, all right, so let's just take a minute and just kind of talk cooking shows and host coaching real quick. Cooking shows, pardon them. Somebody must be in my driveway.
Mine opened the door and came in, so.
I saw her. Her. She's so cute.
Rotten.
So, okay, cooking shows. I mean, it is a lot like the Sqweee. You're going to take, probably with drive time, everything else, 2.5, 3 hours out of your day to go ahead and personally meet up with people, cook something for people. I always tell everybody, take control of your recipes. You decide what you're going to do. Oh no, it's somebody walking. You decide what you're going to do because you know what tools you have and what you want to sell. I've posted the thing about the power tool party where you basically just take power tools and then the couple of accessories. Take what you need. Don't take it too much extra. Keep it simple because people don't want to see you lugging bazillion things and it being tough, because you want it to be easy, right? And you want them to think it's easy as well. So take control of that. I was telling Chris, every person that comes to the party, you tell them at the end, when I'm wrapping up, I tell them, I take Visa, Master, Discover, check, and cash. And sometimes with some groups, I tell them, and the Happy plan, a little bit of check, a little bit of cash, nobody knows what you spent. I do not believe in being deceptive, but it's funny, and most people get a good kick out of it. Very rarely do you see somebody actually doing that. But then I tell them, I would like for you guys to come up one at a time. I will total up your orders for you. I love to be able to sit and chat with you guys one-on-one. When I'm chatting with them, you should ask, and I do not always, have you ever thought about giving Paper Chef a try? No? Okay, well, you know, and I always ask them, did you have fun? Did you enjoy yourself? Whatever. And then I say, you know, have you ever thought of giving Paper Chef a try? Or hey, would you want to host your own show? Yes, no, maybe so. Later on down the road, okay, well, what are you thinking? But then if they say yes, you get them dated right then and there. Figure out what type of show they wanted. That way you can get it going. I generally have packets with me where I will give them the packet right then. So then they have it. They're excited. They have the materials. And then if not, I just wrap up, tell them thank you, let them know that I might be calling them to check in on their products and make sure they're happy with everything. That is the big thing. Getting your host to invite enough people, again, it's a numbers game. You want your host sending out 40 to 50 invites. This should be done via face-to-face, text message, email, Facebook message, and postcards. You guys should have postcard invitations in your home to give to your host, 40 to 50 people at a minimum, because you want to aim for 15 people there. You want them to aim for 5 orders before the show, 5 orders after the show. So then if they fall short, the show's still successful. So you want to set that bar high, because generally a half to a third are actually going to come. It's a numbers game. It's just like when you watch the Facebook parties. They're going to invite 50 to 75. Maybe 25 to 30 are going to come in if they invite that whole number, right? And then out of that 25 to 30, they're going to get anywhere between 10 and 15 orders. Sometimes it's less depending on the friend group. But you have all of that in mind. So it's the numbers game. Share that with the host. Ask them for the RSVPs. Tell them, hey, I need to know how much food we need to have, and I need to know how many catalogs I need to bring. So then that's why you want them to RSVP. You want them to remind all of that type of stuff. So it's one of those things, again, coaching and staying in contact with your host is important. Making them understand what the numbers are, how to, people generally do this, you're the expert. Nobody needs to know if it's your first cooking show or your 500th. You're the expert. You tell them exactly how they should do it. And if you can get them on board, it's going to be a great show. So, and then the follow-up after the show is huge. Hey, okay, well, we had 10 people here. We're here in sales. Let's aim for this goal. This will help you with getting what do you want for your, thing. So, and for,
I have a fall little bazaar type thing that we're going to. So can we talk after about some tips on that?
Yeah,
okay.
Chris, were you doing a booth?
Was I doing what?
Were you doing a booth or a vendor event?
No.
Okay, I know Sherry does them. I always tell everybody, when you're doing one, you better have a door prize slip or a thing to text to win. Text my name, email address, whatever your Pampered Chef needs are. You can have them text it. You can have them filled out. There will be a door prize. I don't care if the prize is a extra $10 bonus when they host a show, whatever it is, or a season's best cookbook that you send. It doesn't matter what it is. You just always do a drawing, always have an entry, so then you have people's information that you can follow up. Don't let them just passively grab a catalog with nothing, okay? Strike up a conversation, have something to follow up with, and be ready for that type of stuff. So,
I got a stamp for the back of my catalogs instead of a sticker, because a stamp will last longer.
Yeah, I stopped using the stamp and I started doing labels, because with the catalogs, with the way the paper is, sometimes you have to let the stamp dry. Just an FYI.
Yeah, I laid them all out and I just walked away.
Get a little lazy.
I've got a stamp too, and that's what I do.
Yeah.
So, okay.
I'm so excited about the stamp.
I stopped it. Well, and of course, I didn't want to buy a new one when we moved here, so I was like, you know what? Nope, just don't even care.
It was cheap. It was like $20, and I was like, yeah. The whole time I'm thinking it's going to be expensive, and I was like, I can do that.
No, and they last a long time. So,
yeah.
All right. Any questions? We're almost up for time limit, so I'm more than happy to pop back on and answer any questions to see anything. But I wanted, kind of wanted to see what your guys' feel was for things that you guys are looking at and struggles, because I don't want to just spew information at you guys that you're not going to find helpful. So hopefully this was helpful for you guys.
I just have to say that I missed you. I've
We
been so
haven't talked
busy,
in-
I haven't
we
gotten
haven't
to talk
talked in
to
like
you.
2 weeks. So other than like on this. So you know, what can I say? I'm a likable girl.
Do you give them the invitations to send, or do you send those out for them, the paper invitations?
You can do either. I've done both. I know some consultants that they ask for the guest list with the address and they will personally send them out because then they know that they are sent out with no question and they're sent out in a timely fashion. So again, it's taking control to make sure you know. And some of these consultants they have above the national average type cooking show success. So, take it
How
with
do
a
you
grain of
get
salt.
past them wanting to do a Facebook event to invite? Because, like
I
I
do both.
asked this one, you do both of them?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm willing to do
Because-
both because then you know why I do a Facebook event is because I'm taking control and
Yeah.
I'm posting the specials. And when somebody goes, I can't make it, but I want to book or I want to order, I make sure to follow up with that person. Their order
Okay.
is going to be in on that show because if not, the host may or may not pay attention. So it's control. So you offer to do both those paper invites and the Facebook event and set
Okay.
it up.
She messaged me and asked for that, and I'm like, but that makes me feel better.
Yeah. So it's take control of it because then you can totally get it. So any other questions? I'm so cheap and I'm not doing pro yet. So
That's okay. I have a quick one. This host that I'm doing this party for tomorrow night is a repeat host. So this is not her first rodeo. And her guests are specifically asking about the cooking blender, and that's what they're coming to see is the cooking blender. And I'm doing that queso and
so good.
the chicken